The first thing that I'm going to show you is a sort of HR selection checklist, and this is the sort of roadmap of going through the process of introducing people tech. So there's some work to do up front in this sort of desk research and exploration section and justifying the business case, and then we sort of split into two streams of work. There's the choosing your supplier and getting through commercials and negotiations and that kind of stuff, and then on the right side here we've got things that you can do internally to set your project up for success. So things around your data, things around your organization, making sure that you've got the information that you need. But we're going to start at the very beginning because it's a very good place to start. And we'll be talking about desk research and exploration today. I guess one of the key things for us to get off sort of out there is about jargon. You know, there'll be a lot of sort of terminology and things that we talk about over the process that potentially you know ninjas might not be comfortable with. As I think I said on our previous video, you know, IT people speak one language, HR people speak a different language, project managers speak yet another language. So there's in HR technology, there's all these different kinds of bits of jargon. So we've also got this sort of jargon buster in here, which I will pop up on the screen. So if you can see things in here like ATS is an applicant tracking system, an ERP is an enterprise resource planning. So lots of terminology in here. I'm not going to go through these in any detail, but that's there for you guys to get sort of familiar with or use as reference point if you ever get stuck on any terminology.
Yeah, that's brilliant. That's brilliant, Lee, and I'll certainly be using that myself. I think I've said before that everything to do with people tech is in 3-letter acronyms, and you know, they get thrown around in various meetings, and you're sitting there thinking, I haven't got a clue what they're talking about, but I'm not going to ask. So actually, with that Jargon Buster, I can now learn what all those 3-letter acronyms are. So that's fab. Yeah, absolutely, and that's the purpose of it. And you know, if there's acronyms that we've missed off there, let's get those in the comments, and we'll see if we can add to that and keep it growing if we need to. Have you got one on there that's WTF? I think most people are familiar with WTF. So I've clicked into the and it's a very well used term during a people systems implementation, let me tell you. So I've clicked into the sort of desktop piece of work. I think the natural inclination for people is to run off and start Googling and finding out who is available for to offer the people technology that they want. But I think that there's a really important piece of groundwork that needs to be done when you set out, and that's to really understand what it is that you're looking for. You know, there's no point in sort of grabbing a Ferrari if you then find out that you're going to have to go off-road. You absolutely have to understand what it is that your business needs. That's the whole of your business and not just the HR function before you set down to go, because a people system touches right across the organization. It is a people system. All your people will be using it. So it may touch payroll, it may touch finance, it may be you know, operations related if it's to do with scheduling or anything like that. So there's various parts of the business that might you might be interested in. So it's important that we've got this sort of holistic view of where the pain points are in the organization. So one of the things we've got on here is called the HR heat map. I'm just going to quickly show you what that looks like. So this is a quick view of how an organization might look, and it's broken down into the various sections of the business and of the people function, and we've just rag status each one. So red, amber, green, red being bad, amber being meh, and green being yeah, everything's okay. So I'm going to come back to this in a minute. If I just nip back to the website,
what we've done to inform that heat map, so that's the high level bit that stakeholders really like to use. So it gives them senior stakeholders get a quick snapshot of exactly what the people function is operating like. To inform that, we need to draw the information from the people who have it in their heads. That might be end users, it might be subject matter experts in your team or other teams. So we've got these questionnaires, and depending on the sort of size and scope of your organization or your project, we've broken these into sort of a light, medium, and high. So I'll quickly open up the light version. There we go. So this is a quick questionnaire that you sit down with your people leadership team, your HR leadership team, and understand what's going on in each of these functions. And filling this in will inform the heat map later on. As you can imagine, the medium and high versions, the high versions really detailed with lots and lots of tabs and lots of information. But essentially, these questions will prompt you to understand: is this part of this function working well? Does that make sense?
Yeah. So did you say this was the light version?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Which again, could be quite scary, but it's a case of people technology is inherently quite complicated, sophisticated, choose your preferred term. So it's important to know that you're sort of going into that frame and arm yourself with the information that you need to make good decisions. So yeah, this is the light version. The complex version has got multiple tabs for each of these sections, with around 30 to 100 questions depending on. So if you're starting a £30,000 project, the light one's going to be suitable for you. If you're looking at multi-million-pound implementation across multiple markets, you're going to want to fill in a detailed questionnaire and arm yourself with the right information before you sort of set out to what suppliers am I looking at.
Yeah, I always think about this in the sense of what problems are you trying to solve? And that's what this tool allows you to identify, isn't it? Because what you don't want to do is end up implementing a system where actually you've still got the problems that you had before you implemented it because you haven't solved the right problems. So I guess this is a tool to enable us to actually identify what's important within each area of the business, and then to obviously align whichever parts of the system are appropriate to solve those problems. So whether that's a recruitment challenge, or whether it's to do with learning and development, or whether it's integration with payroll, whatever that might be. But this is about taking that time up front to really understand what the needs are, to then apply the right solutions.
Yeah, that's absolutely right. And companies aren't as cross-functional as we like to think they are sometimes. So it might be that the problem that you're trying to solve isn't actually the biggest problem that you've got. Or equally, it might be that implementing a new system might impact an area of the business that's actually working really well and you don't want to touch. So doing this sort of exercise, as painful as it feels and as IT-ish as it feels, it's a really good way of understanding yourself, what it is that you want and what it is that you need. So skipping quickly past the actual pain of doing that questionnaire and filling in all that detail and getting that information, we'll come back to our heat map. This is an Excel spreadsheet with macros in it. So make sure when you open this up that you enable the content and enable all the macros so that it can work. But the idea is that for each of these areas, you'll then just provide a quick assessment, either my system is offline or it's online, and we include things like emails as offline functions. That isn't a piece of technology fulfilling the need. And you basically go through and say whether something's poor, okay, or great. So you might have a great offline solution for initiate candidate, and you'll just click on that box. When you click on the boxes, it'll pop up with a description of what that is. So great tech, the system functions well and is popular with users. important ones for the reg, we include something called end of life. So sometimes systems go out of contract or out of support. So that is often a really important business case driver. So this contract's going to run out and the price is going to triple. We need to look for a new system. Or this product is end of life, it's out of support, so we must replace it. So Adobe Flash is a good example that at the end of last year, Adobe went out of support, and you can no longer use products with Adobe in it. So they would have all needed to be replaced. So, I mean, that's the heat map in a nutshell. Once you've gone through this process and completed it, you can click back to the heat map. All these colors will update based on the changes that you've made. And you can see very quickly in a snapshot, we've got pain points around scheduling, we've got pain points around recruitment, and others dotted in here. And at this point, you'll need to make a call on what type of system that you're looking for. So if you've only got red in one column, you might consider what we'd call a best of breed solution, a solution that is specifically designed for that thing. So in this case, I might look for a recruitment solution, a standalone recruitment solution, and a standalone scheduling solution. Your IT team might have a view on whether you want to go best of breed. The other is what we call full suite solutions. So that is one supplier that offers all of these things, or a bunch of these things, right? So Element Suite's a good example of a full suite solution. There's others out there, Oracle, SAP, many that you'll have heard of already. So the idea here is to make that decision, but each comes with its own advantages, right? So the best of breeds tend to be have more functionality, be more feature rich in that specific space. The full suite solutions will do most things pretty well and meet most of your business requirements, but need no integrations with each other. So there's less time, effort, and energy into making the systems talk to each other because it's full suite. It's all in one product, and also you get much better reporting and analytics when you can see across the whole piece. So those are two really important decisions, two important options to consider, and when you get to this point particularly.
So just for my understanding then, Lee, if you go with a best of breed solution, or let's say in this example there's two, so say this is my heat map and I'm going to put in a time and attendance scheduling system and something for recruitment, an ATS or whatever. What does that mean, though, that then I'm inputting data twice into two separate systems?
Yeah, exactly right. And that's what I mean by integration. So essentially, if you've got in this example, we've got a decent HR solution going in place. We need recruitment, we need scheduling. Potentially, you'd have recruitment and build an integration to then talk to HR. And HR would then look after all your employee data. So recruits would come in seamlessly and land in your HR system. And then your HR system would then need integrating to your scheduling system so that you know who works in which site. New starters come in automatically, leavers are removed automatically, those kinds of things. Now, you don't have to integrate them, but like you say, if you don't, then you're dual keying, you're entering new starters manually into the various systems out there. So, yeah, a great question.
Yeah, and there's no right or wrong answers with this, right? So it's just about having the tools to make really well-informed decisions, and the decision that you make will be the right one for your individual business, isn't it? We're not saying you have to go with the best of breed, or that's completely your choice, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. And then I guess this is the point then where you can then start thinking about, right, who am I going to invite in to do a demo? And it's worth just doing a demo with one or two suppliers before you actually go to something more formal, to get an understanding of what kinds of things are out there and what's sort of on offer. There's no right way of finding those people. Again, you may be recommended. I don't think there's a better way than a personal recommendation. I think that's true across the board, but you can Google, you can use one of the independent consultancies like Lace Partners, someone like that. There's just bear in mind that when you do that, you are being advertised to. Just like any other product that you'd go and buy, when you put something in Google, the guys that have spent the most on marketing are going to come up first. And you're not interested in the best marketers, you're interested in the solution that fits this people model the best. So that's really worth bearing in mind when you sort of do that. So, and any thoughts on any of that?
No, I think it all makes sense, and this is a really valuable tool, particularly for me, because I just get carried along with a bit of sales patter. So you could basically say anything to me and I'd believe it. Whereas actually, what this tool would enable me to do is actually go into those meetings much more informed and much clearer about what it is that I actually need, rather than just sort of opening up the meeting by saying, well, tell me what you've got. I can actually go in saying, well, this is what I need, tell me what you've got. And that's a very different conversation.
Yeah, I think it's really easy. And to your point earlier, it's really easy to be blown away by bells and whistles, by shiny bits of product. And, a lot of the bigger products have so much of a breadth of functionality that you'll never use. The whole 80-20 rule is really pertinent here. You'll buy and pay for 100% of a product, and you'll likely use 20% of its functionality. So it's better to get a product that you use 80% of the functionality and it does it well, than and you pay the sort of the right amount for what it is that you need from your business. So many times a company will come in and you'll see something, you'll go, that's great, that's great, that's great. It's important to remember what it is you want and what it is you need for the business, and not just your bit of the business, but across the board, because bringing those people on the journey at the start will make them more keen to help with the delivery later on, because they'll feel like it's part of their idea, rather than bringing it in the payroll team in last minute and going, this is what you need to do now, and then they'll go, well, we do it this way, and what's wrong with that? I'm quite happy with doing it this way. I don't want to do it your way. So again, the questionnaires are a good way of starting those conversations and bringing people in early to sort of help with that stakeholder management too.
Yeah, 100%. I'm absolutely with you on that. There's nothing worse than trying to introduce something sort of at the end of the process and encouraging people to get on board with it when they don't feel that they've been involved or contributed or been engaged with it in any way. So yeah, I totally get what you're saying there.